Hi everyone. I'm excited to make this presentation on educational transformation using blockchain technology, a student-centric model. My name is Shankar Subramaniam. I am a researcher at SV Jain School of Global Management. So let's look at the purpose of this paper. To examine the purpose of this paper, examine the purpose of transformation of education from traditional models to student-centric model using technology like blockchain. And when you mean by traditional models, for last 3 or 4 decades, we are into university-centric models where universities have their courses and it's as well as the students need to choose these courses. So the student doesn't have any flexibility to choose or make his own curriculum. So you're referring to areas like micro credentials to make up the skills and take programs and credits for those programs to whatever the student wants. And this is now started as a major area. So if you look at the companies like Amazon, Google, you look at Microsoft, these companies have started doing this. So it's not a structured degree. So you take skills and earn micro essentials or micro credentials credits for these units separately, and an add-on is a total program you have. So this is kind of transformation which is happening, and this can be easily done by using technology like blockchain, because blockchain will ensure authenticity and it will also ensure security of these certificates. Storage and retrieval becomes easy. This can be easily cross-verified by the academician and by the employers, and it stays for a long time. And also because it's a decentralized system in blockchain, the longevity of these certificates is ensured. So these are some of the advantages which blockchain can offer to uh, education, and this is the transformation which can happen. Now let's look at the reasons of transformation. The reasons of this transformation is majorly, the first thing is there is no employment guarantee, meaning most of these courses which are run by universities cannot guarantee a job. Now, when a student joins a university, his major outcome is to look for jobs and job opportunities, and also to get skills which can get him into these jobs. So, and if these kind of opportunities are not available or there is no guarantee to get a job, which is happening most of the times now in these recent years. So, what is the point in having this course? So that's what is leading to all these disruptions and transformations which are going to happen and happening at the moment. So no employment guarantees are working. The government policies are changing because of this, and also because of social distancing. So, and then the cost of education these days is very prohibitive. So this has led to look at cheaper options and effective options like online degrees, online teaching, along with the social distancing happening this time. So this will help in reducing the cost. And also there is a huge amount of dissatisfaction among the stakeholders, especially the students, the parents, the employers, the bankers, because there are a lot of defaults in the bank education loans. It's as high as 60–70% in some of these banks. And then it's a social bane, because if there's no employment, there's going to be a major issue. So government is also a stakeholder, and it's looking at unemployment rates going up as a serious challenge. And this is happening to most economies across the continents. So it's not a particular region-centric phenomenon. And all these changes can happen only through technology, and this has been accelerated by the COVID situation. So therefore, a transformation is bound to happen. Our educational transformation is happening. and it's enhanced by technology and by the current situation. So these are the things which is making transformation happen, and it's all moving towards a student-centric model. So the conceptual model, after studying various papers, scholarly papers, articles, uh, has been identified, and the gap analysis and the gap factors has been included. So we come out with this conceptual model, which is a dependent variable, the adoption of education transformation, student-centric model, and the sub-variables are mentioned there. The independent variable is we are identified as people-related factors, technology-related factors, environmental-related factors, and the organization-related factors. And these have been noted down along with the sub-variables. So if you look at the people's related factors, the awareness of the need to change, the desire to change, the knowledge of change, the ability to demonstrate skills and behavior, and reinforcement of these changes to happen. So it comes from the Adgar model of change management of the earlier years. The technology related factors are mostly from TAM and TAO. So compatibility, perceived benefits, perceived ease of use, perceived risk of the user in using this technology, adoption of blockchain for uh, student-centric education model. And environmental related, like you have customer pressure. Obviously the customer is a learner, so learner are in a position to customize their own curriculum and go for online lessons, blended learning kind of courses. And this has put a lot of pressure on the universities to change, and the education business to change or transform. So the adoption of education transformation is happening. Uh, and the related environmental factors are customer pressure, customer readiness, government policies, market uncertainties, stakeholder support. Then you have the organization factors, the training and supervision of the staff, the financial readiness to put in the money, readiness to invest, then technical competencies, that is having the infrastructure like technologies in place, technical readiness to take over this challenge. So this was a conceptual model on which we have done the study, and the research hypothesis have been formulated. So perceived usefulness of technology by stakeholders significantly influence the adoption of blockchain technology for education transformation. That's the first H1. Then the second is the technology readiness of the organization significantly influence the adoption of blockchain for education transformation. Then situational disasters or social distancing, remote working situations influence significantly the usefulness of blockchain technology for the adoption of education transformation. Then organization readiness and competitiveness, competencies influences significantly the using of blockchain technology for education transformation. So these are the research hypotheses formulated. And the research methodology, as I already said, the secondary research were used to identify the gaps, and major findings were used to formulate the independent and the dependent variables, and also through informal discussions with the experts in technology and education. So quantitative primary research was conducted. We circulated a survey through emails to 886 people, uh, experts and in education and technology, and we collected around 386 respondents across the 6 countries: India, Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, Pakistan, and UAE, which is the basis of our analysis to follow. And the formulated conceptual model was tested using Adanko PLS structural equation model. And the demographics were 95% of the respondents were graduate and above. So they have education and technology background, and across 6 countries, which is a major achievement. Construct reliabilities were well over 0.8. That is confirmed by the Cronbach alpha values from the test thrown out by Adenko. All the constraints and all the Josko row values were above 0.9, which confirmed significant and reliable as a source for internal consistency reliability. Then the P and the T values confirmed the significance and the relationship of the various constraints in the model. So P values, two-sided P values are well within 0.002 and the T values are well over 5. So the path coefficients were significant and the R squared was high and showed high level of significance. 64.1% of the relationships within the constraints have been explained satisfactorily, and which is considered very good statistically. So this was the output thrown out by Adenko, structural model, PLS, SEMs. So I noted the part coefficients and the T to show us how significant and the relationship has been what we considered in the conceptual model. So you'll see the beta values are very high and the triple star shows the significance and the relationship positive towards the dependent variable, and the t values also confirm the same. So all path coefficients are significant and the t values are above 5. So the model indicates good relationship between the constraints. So what does this lead to? So this shows very clearly the conceptual model we envisaged is valid and reliable as per the PLS SEM tests. The relationship between the constraints are valid and significant. The model can be used for further research studies. The managerial decision in education can be taken using this model, and primary data which has been collected is going to be substantially useful for further studies and further research, because there's a dearth of data on blockchain adoption to education currently. And obviously, because of the testing and the reliability and the high significance achieved by this model, this will be useful in the future. The objective of this research has been met to suggest and confirm a student-centric education model by adopting blockchain using the PLS SEM integrated extended ADGAR, TAM, and TOW model. So we have integrated all these factors, and this has been our major contribution and the originality value. And we have used Adenko to prove the significance and the reliability of this model. And this will be useful for taking managerial decisions. So these are some of the outcomes of our study. And thank you very much for giving us a patient hearing, and we are open to questions.